Once upon a time, in a kingdom shimmering with joy, a king and queen welcomed their beautiful baby daughter, Princess Aurora. To celebrate her birth, they held a grand christening and invited everyone in the land, including three good fairies named Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather. The kingdom was filled with music and laughter. The celebration was in full swing when a sudden gust of wind blew open the castle doors. A chilling silence fell over the hall. There stood the evil fairy Maleficent, her face a mask of fury. She was enraged that she hadn't been invited. With a wicked smile, she approached the cradle and pronounced a terrible curse. She declared that on Aurora's 16th birthday, the princess would prick her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and die. The queen collapsed in tears, and the king begged for mercy, but Maleficent only laughed and vanished in a cloud of green smoke. Everyone was in despair, but Merryweather, the last of the good fairies, still had her gift to give. While she couldn't completely undo the curse, she could soften it. With a wave of her wand, she proclaimed that the princess would not die. Instead, she would fall into a deep sleep, only to be awakened by true love's kiss. Still terrified for their daughter's safety, the king and queen agreed to a drastic plan proposed by the fairies. To protect Aurora from Maleficent, the three fairies would raise her in secret, deep within the forest, disguised as simple peasant women. The king commanded that every spinning wheel in the kingdom be burned, hoping to prevent the curse from ever coming true. So, under the cover of night, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather whisked the baby princess away to a secluded cottage, renaming her Briar Rose. She was a kind and gentle soul, with a voice as beautiful as a songbird's. Her only friends were the animals of the forest. On the morning of her 16th birthday, her aunts sent her out to pick berries so they could prepare a surprise for her. While singing in the forest, her enchanting voice attracted a handsome young man who was riding nearby. It was Prince Philip, to whom she had been betrothed as a baby. They felt an instant connection and, without knowing each other's true identities, fell deeply in love. They promised to meet again that evening. When Briar Rose returned to the cottage, the fairies revealed the truth. She was a princess, and she was already betrothed. Heartbroken that she couldn't be with the man she had just met, she was escorted back to the castle. As she sat alone in her room, a strange, hypnotic green light appeared. It was Maleficent's magic, luring Aurora through a secret passage to a dusty tower. There an enchanted spinning wheel materialized. Helpless against the powerful spell, Aurora reached out and pricked her finger on the spindle. The curse was fulfilled. The good fairies found Aurora and placed her on a bed in the highest tower, to spare the king and queen the pain of losing their daughter. They cast a gentle spell over the entire kingdom, causing everyone to fall into a deep slumber, to awaken only when the princess did. Meanwhile, Prince Philip arrived at the cottage, only to be captured by Maleficent and her goons. She took him to her fortress in the Forbidden Mountains, intending to keep him locked away until he was an old man. But the good fairies came to his rescue. They armed him with the magical sword of truth and the shield of virtue and helped him escape. Philip raced to the castle, but Maleficent stood in his way. In a terrifying display of power, she transformed herself into a colossal, fire-breathing dragon. A fierce battle ensued. It seemed hopeless, but with the fairies' help, Philip threw the sword of truth with all his might. It soared through the air and struck the dragon in the heart. With a final agonizing roar, Maleficent was defeated. Prince Philip rushed to the tower where Aurora slept. He knelt beside her and, with a gentle heart, gave her true love's kiss. Slowly, her eyes fluttered open. The curse was broken. As they awoke, so did the rest of the kingdom. The grand hall filled with cheers as the king and queen were reunited with their daughter. Princess Aurora and Prince Philip, finally together, danced in the ballroom, their love having conquered all, and they lived happily ever after.